friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Brooke and you look lovely today. This is going to be a super fast book haul because I bought most of these books in October and by now have read and or made videos about them. So I'm not going to go super into depth about what they're about, but I am going to link my videos appropriately up above. First off, in September, I was on a book buying ban and I did a great job, if I do say so myself. However, I did have a stipulation in my personal guidelines for that because I knew that this new release was coming out and I knew I was gonna go get it the day it came out. And that book was The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. This is a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale, which is a feminist classic, y'all. It takes place 10-15 years, something like that, after the events of The Handmaid's Tale. And I haven't got to read it yet. I have heard mixed things, but I'm still super pumped to read it and see what's going on in this world 10-15 years later. And then I sort of cheated, sort of didn't, because I did pick up one other new release that I was super excited about, but I exchanged it for another book that I had previously bought and decided I didn't want anymore. So, you know, there's no change in money, no change in the amount of books I have, so I don't think it counts. Do you? No? Okay, cool. And that book is To Drink Coffee with the Ghost by Amanda Lovelace. This is a collection of poetry. It's kind of in a collection duology with her poetry collection To Make Monsters Out of Girls, which I loved. It might be my actual favorite one that she's written. This is her 5th poetry collection out of all, and I've read all of them and enjoyed them, so I'm excited to get to this one. And then at the beginning of October, I first picked up 2 books, the first of which was Looking for Alaska by John Green. This book I had previously read and owned, but I owned it in paperback form and I'm a hardback girl, and so I've been trying to steadily go through my book collection and replace some of my older paperback books with hardcovers when I can. And I wanted to reread this because the show came out on Hulu in the fall, and so I did. And I vlogged it, and I vlogged my reaction to the show, so I'll link that video up above. And the second book of that pair was Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I had previously read this as an ARC that I got from work, but I wanted a finished copy because I met Rory Power at the Texas Teen Book Festival, vlog above, and wanted a finished one for her to sign. And then, when I got back from that book festival trip, this book had just released and was on sale, super sale, and so I had to get it, and that was the illustrated edition of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And if you don't know what this is about, I'm so amazed that you finally got internet under that rock you're living. And then the next 5 books I picked up because they were on my Witchathon TBR, so I'm going to show them, but I'm not really going to go into super depth about them because I did that in my Witchathon TBR video, which I will link above. The first book was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is another book that I've read previously that I own in paperback and decided that I wanted to upgrade to a hardcover. I did not actually get to this during Witchathon. Most of these books I did not because I only ended up reading 2 of them because I'm a slow reader, y'all, and I had high ambitions. But I will get to it eventually. I want to do a full series reread, so I'm happy I had it. Then we have Only the Stars Know Her Name, Salem's Lost Story of Titubas Daughter by Amanda Marrone. This is a middle grade historical fantasy. Tituba was one of the first women accused in the Salem witch trials, and she was a Caribbean black slave. So I was like, a book about her daughter that I don't actually know if she had or not. Real talk. Sounds amazing. Then we have The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This is a great spin on the Wicked Witch in the Forest story to me. It's set in this world where the people of this village sacrifice a baby to the Wicked Witch of the Woods every year to placate her so that she won't attack them. However, somehow they don't know that the witch isn't going to attack them and that she's very nice, so that every year the witch takes that baby and she takes it to the other side of the forest where there's another city and adopts the baby out and gives it to a happy couple. And when she does that, she usually feeds the baby starlight to kind of sustain them, and then one year she accidentally feeds the baby moonlight, and that gives the baby magic powers, and so she decides to keep that baby and raise her on her own. And she becomes the girl who drank the moon. Then we have Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. This is a Mayan god retelling set in the 1920s in Mexico. Then we have Serpent Death by Shelby Mahurin. One of the books I actually did read for Witchathon. This is a really big book on BookTube right now. Basic summary, romance between a witch and a witch hunter. Then I had a couple of other books that I wanted to pick up at the same time as these, and the first of those was Ziggy Stardust and Me by James Brandon. This is an LGBT historical romance kind of situation. Our main character here is gay and he does not want to be, and he deals with this and other life struggles in his head. Like, he creates this imaginary world where he can be anything and know anyone. And then he meets the love interest over here, who is also Lakota and very openly and proudly gay, and you know, it kind of rocks on from there and it sounds amazing. The other book was Blood, Water, Paint by Joy McCullough. This is a novel in verse that follows 16-year-old Italian painter Artemisia Gentileschi. It takes place in the 16th century or something like that, whenever she was alive. And it follows her wanting to paint in a world dominated by men, and her sexual assault by her paint teacher and her following trial. I read this from the library. I loved it so much. Like, this is one of my favorite books of the year, and so I had to pick up my own copy. And then finally, I also picked up a couple of books online for the Witchathon that I didn't have in my store. The first one was The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I wanted the Barnes & Noble edition because of that gorgeous map. This one is another take on the witch in the woods story trope that I love, and I really want to start getting into V.E. Schwab, and this is her debut novel, so it's a great place to start. Finally, I picked up Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir, which was the group book, and which I actually did finish and enjoy. So that was my hopefully really fast book haul. I hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you've read any of these books, if you want to read them, all your thoughts down below. Other than that, thanks for watching. I love you. Bye.